Welcome back to Classic Recaps. Today we will discuss a movie that has polarized critics since its release. I'm talking about Sucker Punch 2011, the psychological fantasy action film by director Zack Snyder. This is Snyder's first film based on an original concept, and it features a cast of young actresses who play characters trapped in an abusive mental institution. To cope with their reality, they enter a series of fantasy worlds where they fight against various enemies and obstacles. But what is real and what is imagined, and can they escape their fate? Let's explore this visually stunning and controversial film. Do stick around until the end for my review and rating. The film opens with a girl named Babydoll sitting in her room, crying. Her stepfather enters her room and tells her that her mother has passed away. Babydoll rushes to her mother's room, only to find that her mother's body getting covered. Just then, her little sister comes into the room and finds that their mother has passed away. She breaks down crying while Babydoll holds her. A few hours later, Babydoll puts her younger sister to sleep, while her stepfather goes through her mother's will. He finds that just before she died, Babydoll's mother had named her daughters as the only heirs to her inheritance. This makes him furious, and his hatred for his deceased wife and her daughters gets worse. As soon as Babydoll leaves her sister's room, she notices her stepfather standing near her room. She rushes to her room, but her stepfather manages to block her from closing the door. He reaches out and tries to take her shirt off, but Babydoll scratches his face, and just as he backs off, she shuts the door and locks it. Not being able to break down the door, her stepfather turns towards her sister's room and uses a key to unlock her door. Babydoll, who was watching through the lock, notices him attacking her sister and quickly climbs out of her room's window and manages to enter her stepfather's study. She grabs a gun from the shelf and rushes to save her sister. She points the gun towards her stepfather and shoots. She misses and hits a light bulb behind her, causing it to shatter. She then runs to find her sister, but when she enters the room, she finds that her stepfather had shot and killed her sister. She breaks down once again, having lost both her sister and mother on the same day. Meanwhile, her stepfather calls the police and tells them that her mother's death caused her to go on a rampage and kill her sister. The police then take Babydoll into their custody and take her to Lenox Mental Institute. There, her stepfather meets with the warden of the mental institute, Blue Jones, and tells him that there will be a hearing in court soon. It will determine whether Babydoll's inheritance will go to her, or, if she is proven to be too mentally unstable, the inheritance will go to him. He then gives Blue a large amount of money and tells him to conduct a lobotomy on her so that she loses all her memories. Blue agrees to take Babydoll in and forges the signature of a psychologist to admit her into the institution. He then takes Babydoll to an auditorium filled with girls her age and introduces her to a girl named Rocket. He orders Rocket to show Babydoll around the institute and help her settle in. Babydoll follows Rocket into a hallway where Rocket takes her into another room and tells her that this is where they see clients. When she notices Babydoll looking confused, she tells her that the institute is a glorified prostitution ring, and the girls are required to provide their services to the men who pay for them. Rocket then takes Babydoll to a dance studio and introduces her to Amber, Blondie, and her sister Sweet Pea. She tells Babydoll that all of them are performers at the institute and that they are putting on a show later that night, so she can watch them to understand how things work over here. When night comes, Blue begins performing on the stage with Sweet Pea and other dancers, while an auditorium full of men watches them. Babydoll is assigned cleaning duty, and she cleans as all the girls entertain men all night long. The next day, Babydoll cleans the floors outside the kitchen when Rocket goes inside to put away the vegetables. When the cook notices Rocket stealing a bar of chocolate from the pantry, he attacks her. Before he can land another hit, Babydoll comes up behind him and puts a knife to his throat. She threatens to kill him if he doesn't let go of Rocket. The two girls then leave the kitchen and go to the dance studio. They find their dance instructor standing there, who then starts playing music and demands Babydoll start dancing for her. Babydoll closes her eyes, but when she opens them, she finds herself in the middle of a temple in Japan. She goes inside the temple and comes across a man who asks her what she is looking for. She tells him that she is looking for a way out. He says she will need 5 things to be able to escape from the institute. He tells her that she will need a map, a knife, a fire, and a key. He says that she will find the 5th item on her own. Before Babydoll leaves the temple, he hands her a box containing a handgun and a sword. Once outside, Babydoll notices 3 samurai waiting for her. The first samurai attacks Babydoll, causing her to go flying back. Babydoll quickly recovers and jumps away to avoid the samurai's attacks. She then uses the sword to kill the samurai. The second samurai attacks with a machine gun. After dodging the bullets, Babydoll jumps over him and uses her handgun to kill him. When she kills the third samurai, Babydoll opens her eyes and finds herself back in the mental institute. Everyone begins clapping for Babydoll, impressed by her dancing skills. That night, Babydoll asks the girls if they are happy living here. The girls say they are unhappy, but they can't do anything since there is no way to escape. She tells them that she has a plan, but she needs their help. She assigns each girl to collect one of the items that the temple man had told her to find. She tells Sweet Pea to get Blue to watch her dance, and while he is distracted, she will steal the map. When Blue joins Babydoll in the studio, Sweet Pea sneaks into his office and finds the map. Back at the studio, when Babydoll opens her eyes, she finds herself in the middle of a war zone along with the 4 girls. Just then, the man from the temple shows up and tells Babydoll that they have to steal the map that contains troop layouts and locations of trenches before it falls into the hands of German Nazis. The girls make their way through the war zone. They reach a trench where they fight against the soldiers. They eventually reach a hideout. Babydoll goes inside and begins fighting. One of the men takes the map and runs towards the Zeppelin. However, Babydoll manages to catch up with him and takes the map. Then, she closes her eyes again and opens them. She finds herself back in the studio with everyone clapping for her once again. Blue becomes impressed with Babydoll's performance and tells the instructor that Babydoll is going to put up a show for the governor. He then returns to his office and notices that the map is missing one of the pins attaching it to the board. He concludes that someone had made a copy of the map. Meanwhile, the girls were now plotting to steal a lighter from the governor who was coming to watch the performance. Soon, the time for them to perform arrives. Once again, as Babydoll opens her eyes, she finds herself in another war zone, but this time, in a castle. The man appears and says they need to retrieve jewels from the belly of a baby dragon and rub them together to ignite a fire. He tells them to be careful, or the mother will wake up and jeopardize their plan. The girls begin fighting their way inside the castle. They spot the dragon and Babydoll extracts the jewels. Suddenly, the mother dragon wakes up and begins attacking the girls. Babydoll then rubs the jewels together and ignites a huge fire that kills the dragon. Then, Babydoll closes her eyes and finds herself back in the auditorium. Once the performance ends, the governor searches for his lighter but does not find it. When he tells Blue about it, he confronts the girls and tells them that he knows that they had stolen a copy of the map, and now they were responsible for the lighter that had gone missing. Hearing his threats, Blondie becomes scared and tells their instructor everything. The next day, the girls gather in the kitchen without Blondie and begin formulating a plan to steal a knife. Babydoll locks the kitchen door, turns on the radio, and begins dancing. She finds herself in front of the old man again. He tells the girls they have to defuse a bomb that was gonna blow inside a train and make sure that they bring the bomb back with them. The girls enter the train and manage to defuse the bomb, but before they can take it out of the train, another man emerges and activates the bomb again. Suddenly, Babydoll finds herself back in the kitchen, but she notices that the cook they had knocked out was beginning to wake up. He finds his knife in Sweet Pea's hand and snatches it from her before stabbing Rocket. At the same time, Babydoll notices that the radio had stopped working and a spark was beginning to ignite in the radio. The radio once again starts working and all the girls are transported back into the fantasy world. However, this time Rocket sees that the bomb is about to go off and manages to get Sweet Pea out of the way before the bomb explodes, killing her. Back in real life, Blue comes inside the kitchen and shoots Amber and Blondie dead. He locks Sweet Pea up, but Babydoll manages to escape. She sneaks to the hallway and frees Sweet Pea before the two of them rush towards the gates. Babydoll tells Sweet Pea that the fifth item that was going to save them was Babydoll herself. She distracts the guards while Sweet Pea escapes. Later, Babydoll wakes up and finds that she was getting lobotomized just before the psychologist interferes. She had figured out that Blue had forged her signature and was involved in a crime. The movie ends with Blue getting taken away for his crimes, while Sweet Pea gets on a bus and escapes from the institute. Sucker Punch 2011 is a movie that tries to be many things: a feminist empowerment story, a commentary on mental illness, a tribute to geek culture, and a showcase of Zack Snyder's signature style. The movie's strengths lie in its stunning visuals and spectacular action scenes, featuring a cast of talented actresses who play strong and courageous characters. This film is a fun and thrilling ride that challenges the conventions of storytelling and cinema. It is a sucker punch to the senses and emotions. I rate this movie 3 stars. Thanks for watching my review. Subscribe for more content and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to review your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.